So yeah, I mean, so I really don't need a room for my memories. I mean, one day I might write a book, because I did write a diary for about 5 years.
Oh, you should publish it.
Yes. Well,
imagine the stories in that diary.
Ian Hunter did, who was with Mutt the Hoople. Bill Wyman did, who was with Rolling Stones. They came out with books. Maybe I should, but I don't know.
Well, you know, since you mentioned Rolling Stones,
yeah.
Why do you think the Rolling Stones have had such success sticking together as a band, and so often bands split up?
Well, first of all, they're not out on the road all the time. You know, they've reached that status, I mean, about probably 20 years ago, like The Who, and some of those. I mean, if John Bonham hadn't died, Zeppelin would still be out there now, you know. And I really do admire. It's funny, there's two situations that I really admire. One is Def Leppard. One is when their drummer lost an arm in a car crash. They waited for him to come back. They could have got another drummer and said, thank you very much, bye-bye, that's it. But they waited for him. He learned how to drum with one hand, all the electronic drums, and I admire the band for doing that. I think, you know, power to you, lads, for keeping the original drummer, you know. And then there was Zeppelin. I mean, in principle, they've never really got back together as Led Zeppelin, even though they've had John Bonham's son, Jason, you know, was available to do that. I think the moment was gone, and I think that's what really happened. So in principle, you know, again, I've got to say, well done, lads, yeah, you know, for doing that. But with the Stones, I think the reason why they've lasted so long is, again, they do a world tour, and then they'll have 2 or 3 years off, and then probably Ronnie will spend all his money. Mick doesn't have to. Mick and Keith.
Mick is a busy man.
Mick and Keith, I think, you know, they're made for life. You know, I mean, I know Keith has to have his new blood every kind of like month. You know what I'm saying? So in with the old or out with the old and in with the new. You know. But you know, I think that's what it is. I mean, a Stones concert or tour is an event, just like Elton John.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't come out there, do a world tour, which seems like he's on the road forever, but it's not. He's on the road in America maybe for 6 or 7 months or 8 months, doing his one show in LA, one show here, one show there. Then he'll go around the world, again like you too. Then they have time off. You don't see them for 2 years, even though it seems like they're there forever, because that's really the magic, is when they're not there, they feel like they're there. They still feel like they release a single or they release an album and a video, and it's like they've never left. But when it comes to the live shows, then you'll realise, oh, it was 2 years or 3 years ago that this band toured. So really, that's why I think the magic's still there, you know. And I think they've kicked out all the animosity over the years.
Right.
You know, after what, out in 65 or 64 or 65, Keith is still there. Mick is still there, the 2 main guys. Charlie's still there, and I hope he's, you know, hope he's well. You know, I think Charlie had a bit of a health scare, and I hope he's well. And they've got a really good bass player, and Ronnie. I mean, Ronnie was a new kid, really, but he's been with their, God knows how long, 10, 15 years now, I can't remember. But, you know, and he's a dreamboat. He's a lovely lad. I've known him. I used to work in Carnaby Street. Now, Carnaby Street in the 60s was the hub of the fashion world. All the fashion world.
In England? In
England. Everybody used to come down. That's when Bob Dylan first started, Sonny and Cher first started, the Stones first started. And Ronnie Wood was with a band called The Byrds, B-I-R-D-S.
I've heard of them.
Not the B-Y-R-D-S, one Mr. Tambourine Man. No, he was in an English group called The Byrds.
Oh, okay.
And he used to come down to Carnaby Street all the time and buy his clothes. So, again, I remember these people from way back to early 60s. You know? So it's good fun. And well, the great thing is, you know, I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but
no, it's fine.
I never thought I'd make it past 40. So every year is a bonus for me. I'm 56 now. So I've had 16 good years. Oh! Shouldn't have taken that Viagra. Get down, boy. Anyway, so I've had 16 extra years, and I think it's been magic. And hopefully, you know, like next year when I come out with my special thing, my special thing.
We can't wait for that.
Yeah, I want another 10 years at least. You know, I want another 10 years at least. Take me into 66. Good job we can't go 66.6 years. Sign of the devil.
Well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, so stay tuned for more of Tony Stevens when we get back.
Combine business and pleasure at Daytona Beach's premier resort, the Plaza Resort and Spa. From conventions to retreats, the Plaza Resort and Spa is the perfect backdrop to feature your next main event. meeting space to accommodate groups from 15 to 5,000 people, a world-class European-style spa, salon, fitness center, and an on-site restaurant. For your next event, visit us online or call today to experience the best that Daytona Beach has to offer.
All right, well, we're back with more Live and Kicking on Location. I am Lisa Marie Benz, your host, and I am here with Tony Stevens, one of the founding members.
One of the original founding members.
Original founding members of Fivehat.
Way back one in 1970.
Yes, I was just a little tot then, I'm happy to say.
Lisa, what's happening here? It's an alien. John Hurt, where are you? When it's like part 5 of Alien there, sorry. It wasn't my son. So
how many original members are still out there?
Alive? Well, I mean, how many founding members are Roger Earl and myself, Tony Stevens. I mean, Rod Price unfortunately died this year, and Lonesome Dave died in 2000, February 2000. So there's only really 2 people that can say that they are the original founding members in 1971.
Do you all stay in touch?
No, not really. Not really, not at the moment. No, it's as I say, it's long and legal. So as I say, I'm better off not saying anything than saying something that I regret. So no, basically he lives up in Long Island and I live down here in Florida and the Peter.
What brought you to Edgewater, of all places?
Well, actually it was New Smyrna.
Right.
I came over first time in 2000 for Dave's funeral. And I was staying with a guitarist before that, not original, but he was with the band from 1999, a guy called Brian Bassett. And Brian is a lovely man, nice family. Anyway, I stayed at his house and he lives in New Smyrna. So after the funeral I stayed on in fact, Roger and I had to meet to decide whether we were going to keep the band going in 2000. Because obviously it was a wrench, do we carry on without Dave? And then we both decided that it would be a good idea to carry on. There was a lot of fans out there that sent sympathies and said, please carry on, please carry on. So we both decided to carry on, and we found a new singer. So anyway, so after the meetings and everything, you know, to decide that we were carrying on, I came back down to New Smyrna, stayed another 3 or 4 weeks with Brian, and just fell in love with the place. I loved the people, the restaurants, the beaches. It was just great. So I bought a little condo in 2001 on the beach, and you know, then went from condo to a house, and then that house to this house. You know, really. So yeah, and I've got a nice
paradise.
Yeah, well, there's a nice little party of us every Tuesday. We get together, about 20 of us. I'm the youngest, as well as 56. So I think the eldest is 94. And this man, I tell you what, if I look like this, if I go to 94 and I look like this man, Fred, his name is, he drives a Mini Cooper. Yeah, I mean, he's a babe magnet. At 94, all the girls love him. And he's fit as a fiddle. You know, because I've seen people like Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, when they were 94, they were very frail. And this guy is, you know, he drinks his Bacardi, drives his, well, not at the same time, drives his Mini Cooper, and is a wonderful man. You know, and it's a lovely get-together every Tuesday for dinner and chats. You know.
Well, you know, I have been mistaken for Anna Nicole Smith, and she tends to have a liking to these older men.
Well, here I am. But 2 things: you're far more prettier, and you have a brain.
Oh,
sorry, Anna, but you know, look, you did make a little bit of money, and I'm sure you have shrewd advisors, but you know, just 3 ways short of a shipwreck girl. You know, 3 great short of a bunch. Sorry, darling, but you know, you have a brain. You carry an interview, and you're very pretty. So.
Well, thank you. So tell us what you're doing these days. I think you mentioned you're doing some acting.
Yeah, I was involved in acting. I did this TV show, and then in the 90s I got involved because I really enjoyed it with acting classes. I went to acting classes for the people that went to Radar or kind of like, you know, the major actors over here. I only did about a year and a half. But I learned monologue, duologue, stage fighting, comedy. I just really enjoyed it, really. So I hooked up with a casting agency and I got parts in a lot of drama, a lot of comedy, a lot of bit parts, you know, where you walk on and obviously you walk past the camera and they all say, and it's funny, directors always regard extras as you people.
You
Who
people.
the hell are you people? You know, when you walk past, you know, we know never to look in the camera. We don't sit and go, you know,
Right.
when two people are having an important conversation, you don't stand behind them going like that. You do your bit, you walk past the camera, and that's it. And if you do have to have a camera shot, then you look either above it or below it. You don't look straight into it, you know. But they always regard extras as you people, and I hate that. But I've done some great extra work. I was in EastEnders, which was a very big soap in England. The Bill, which was another big soap, and a lot of some TV work, some advertisements, you know, adverts, commercials. So yeah, I've enjoyed, and I'm still enjoying my life in that respect. You know, I'm here. I'm still raring to go. You know, you never know. It might be an acting thing next year. I might be out there. You know, a little bit of sprunts on the stage and stuff like that in my new guise.
We may have to come back and do an interview with you in about another 6 months because I see big things happening.
Well, if it does happen, then the jacuzzi's got to get bigger. We've got to have a bigger jacuzzi.
Right.
It'd be in the pool if we do it in summer.
Okay, okay. So let's go back to your early guitar days.
Yeah.
What got you into
Music.
music and everything?
I started playing, I actually got the bug when I was 7. And my dad, luckily enough, he was one of those persons, and my mum saw that I really was serious. And saw the potential. So he went out and bought me a small classical guitar, you know, very, very nice, very light, very easy to play. And then I'd go to my boys' clubs and see groups playing, and I decided then I wanted to play the electric guitar. So I went down, I hopped, I got rid of, in a pawn shop, I got rid of my bow and arrow. I was only about 8. Electric, I had my classical guitar, my bike, and a train set.
Oh my God.
All for this guitar, which was terrible, you know, it was, and not even an amp, it was an electric guitar. It was the worst guitar I could ever buy, and I still had to give him £2 or about $4 on top of it to get this guitar. So anyway, in the end, my parents again kind of like loaned me some money when I was about 10, get a real nice guitar, real good amp, and I formed a band. So I was doing semi-pro work, you know, like doing weddings and funerals and working man clubs when I was about 11, you know, making some money for the weekends and stuff like that. So I was out there working right up until really the audition for Savoy Brown when, you know, I was about 17, nearly 18 when that happened, you know.
That's neat. I find it so often that when you find a passion like that at a young age, to really go with it. I see it in my nephew. In fact, I'm going to have you meet him.
Well, my 2 guardian angels are my mum and dad. They're both up there, Peggy and Steve. They're both looking down on me. And I even know now they're guiding me. And they always have done, right from the first time when I was 7, I wanted to pick up the guitar. They've always been there. You know what I'm saying? And I know they look after me. So next year, that's why I know it will be a great year.
Great. Well, thank you, Tony, so much for being my guest on Live and Kicking on Location.
Thank you for swirling in my jacuzzi. And by the way, the jet's not working. I just had some beans last night. Sorry.
See, he is a comedian after all.
Sorry.
Anyway, well, thank you so much for joining us. And Tony, you taught me something earlier that the English say when they're going to sign off.
TTFN.
TTFN, which
Ta-ta
means...
for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.